So we have a storm coming, which is interesting for early April. I wanted to film the garden before it gets possibly flooded out. We got 2 solid days of rain coming. They're saying thunderstorms starting at 4 a.m., but it looks like thunderstorms are about to start now. Kicked up to 86 today, which is not unheard of for early April to be having close to 90-degree days. Can definitely see a difference in the garden the last couple days. Crimson clover's starting to bloom. It's blooming much later than normal. Some years it blooms in like March, early March. This year I'm just now seeing the first flowers. This is one of those citrus caterpillars. I'm gonna tolerate this guy, but I'm gonna relocate him to a bigger tree. This little lemon bush here just can't sustain any more damage. It got a lot of damage when we got down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit on Christmas Eve. So it's still recovering from cold damage, so I don't really want this giant swallowtail larvae or bird poop caterpillar feeding on it, but I'm going to relocate it to a bigger tree. These are some tomatoes I've put in using the double dig hole method, where I come out here and I dig a hole in the middle of the lawn. I don't even try to get rid of the grass by hoeing it out. This is winter ryegrass, and so I simply come out with a shovel and I dig a hole about 18 inches in diameter and about 18 inches of depth, and pull the soil plug out as one solid soil plug, and then I just flip it over so that the sod or ryegrass is face down, and then I break up that root ball a little bit, and I just plant something on top of it. See, the winter crops were done this way. This is Merlot lettuce and some broccoli and cabbage, and these are massive plants, and they yielded really well for me. I didn't do like any tilling or any weed fabric or any of that. It's literally just digging a hole, excavating the dirt out of the hole, flipping the dirt over so that the grass side is down, putting the dirt back in the hole, breaking it up a little bit, and then planting it. We're expecting, I think, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts later today. Well, tonight rather. It's 7 in the evening. This is looking pretty intense. This feels like tropical storm weather, but it's only April. Some of the roselle plants coming up. These are roselle. It's a hibiscus ochre relative that makes dark burgundy pods that you can put in like a drink, like a tea. So that's kind of cool. I need to go over here, pinch off all of the flowers. I'm sure they're having some of the peppers. But like I said, I'm expecting quite a bit of damage from these winds. I saw another flower on one of these back here. I don't know if it's this one or this one. But see, the blueberry did quite well with the cold winter. The citrus not so much. The rose is in full bloom, which is kind of cool. This rose bush has been here for I think 60 plus years. I prune it every year, take cuttings from it. The potatoes are doing pretty good. These are the Adirondack Blues from Cornell. Some have already started to flower. So these were planted on February 10th or February 11th, a couple days before Valentine's Day. They're in, I think, 20-gallon fabric pots, just a mixture of native yard soil with some cheap county compost and a little bit of jungle growth potting mix on top. Potatoes do really well in the fabric pots because potatoes like to be kept dry. If they're too wet, they'll start to rot. Whereas something like mint over here is not very happy in a fabric pot because mint likes to be wet, and these keep things dry. See a lot of little wild strawberries in here. I don't see a whole lot of regular strawberries. That's really good. The wild ones here don't have a whole lot of taste. About done with brassicas for the year. Oh, I was going to show you companion planted with the Adirondack blue potatoes is some Vulcan chard and something else pretty cool. There's some of these black devil pansies in here, which are pretty cool. Got plenty of peppers left. Some basil in here. Got tomatoes that still need to go out to the garden or somewhere. There's quite a lot of those. I think there's 50 tomatoes right here. There's probably another 20 here. Maybe another 10 or 15 here. And another couple here. And there's another 5 or 10 here. And there's another like 30 here that need some fertilizer. But this potted lemon looks like it's gonna do fairly well this year. Uh-oh, I missed this strawberry. It rotted. I've been washing these off. That texture was not great. I think this is the first year we're gonna have a good Brussels sprout crop. This is the coldest winter we've had in like 40 years. That's what Brussels sprouts like. I need to pull all these leaves off tomorrow and probably just cook them like collards. Somebody told me if you rip all these leaves off, you'll get a lot more Brussels sprouts on your sprout stalk, so that's cool. The Merlot is doing really well. It tolerated the heat better than some of the other lettuces. It's slower to bolt. It's also slower to grow, but it's slower to bolt. Some happy looking apple mint. The peas are looking great. They were slow this winter. Our winter was too cold for them to really do much. Like a lot of times you can plant peas, you know, in October or November here and have like a pretty significant crop through December, January, February. This winter was way too cold, so the peas I planted in around Thanksgiving, they sprouted and then they just were stunted all of December and all of January because of how cold it got. They didn't die, but they certainly didn't grow much. So peas are definitely tolerant down to 14, 15 degrees, but they're not going to like it. But now these are filling out pretty well. These yellow ones are just loaded with pods. They're easier to see too. There's some more over here. I might have to shell some of those tomorrow. They look really cool. I should probably put some of those pictures on Instagram or something. There's a lot of carrots that are ready to harvest. I don't know if I want to harvest those today or wait until tomorrow. It is going to be raining tomorrow. I suppose I could harvest carrots today. Is that something y'all want to see on the video? You want to see me harvest carrots? I don't think I promised any carrot harvesting at the beginning of the video, but I suppose we'll do what we can here. Wow, that's a nice looking one. Carrots are easy to grow, but they are an exercise in patience, in my opinion. They take quite a while. They were fine down to 14 degrees, but I planted these seeds, I want to say, in it was the fall, and they're just now ready to harvest, and it's almost, we're halfway through April almost. So there's definitely more in here, but I'm going to let some of these get a little bigger. It's hard to judge. You kind of feel around at the base and you decide if you want to harvest it or not based on how that initial feel is. If you harvest carrots too late, sometimes they'll be woody and tough. They can also get spicy as you get into hot weather. If you harvest them too early, they'll be a little small. So you want to catch them at that window where they're big enough, but they haven't gone through too much hot weather, so they're not woody or spicy yet. Let that one grow some more. It's funny because some of the carrots have a ton of leaf material and there's not that much root underneath. And then some have very little leaf material, and then you find a big carrot underneath. So that's always interesting. Just got stabbed with a citrus thorn. Maybe I'll die of tetanus now. Mosquitoes are already out. Need to get the dogs back on their heartworm medicine. I see a few more carrots over here in these fabric pots, and then there's a whole 4x4 bed of carrots over by the porch. Got some volunteer Mexican sunflowers. Zinnia, get out of there! Zinnia! Such a ridiculous dog. See, this one has a lot of leaf material, and I don't think there's that much carrot under there. Whereas, wow, that's cool looking. It's a white carrot. That's very cool. I remember I planted some white carrots, but I didn't think very many of them sprouted. One thing I've learned with carrots is that there's all kinds of really cool obscure varieties. There's white ones that taste like licorice, and there's yellow ones that are ridiculously sweet. There's purple ones that make all kinds of cool juices, and those are all great. But if you want big yields, if your goal is a lot of carrots, the standard old orange varieties yield so much better in my experience. Wow, that's quite the haul of carrots today. The white one's pretty cool. We're not even over to the actual carrot bed yet. This is just the dregs, the leftovers. Wow, that's a nice view. The main carrot bed was over this way. This elderberry is coming back. Lost one of the loquat trees this year to disease. It's a disease that I think it caught from the apple that I bought from the nursery. So this is the actual carrot bed here. You can see these are a little more lush. Yeah, some of these are going to be a little thicker, I think. Might go for the ones on the edge first. What do y'all think? Should I go for the biggest ones or the ones on the edge? That's an edge one. Yeah, I mean, these look great now, and you guys are like, oh wow, nice carrots, but like I said, I planted these seeds in like September or October, something ridiculous like that, and I'm just now getting a harvest. So as nice as they look, this was not super productive in my opinion, but it's just, I think because the winter was so cold, I don't generally fertilize things, so I didn't really give these any fertilizer. That's a nice looking one. So yeah, they didn't get a lot of fertilizer. They didn't get a whole lot of sun. They're in the shade. And in addition to lack of fertilizer and lack of sunshine, it was a very, very, very cold winter. It's a nice looking one. So we got all these left to harvest. There's probably 20 more in there. Might let them get a little bigger. Damn, that's quite the haul, y'all. I mean, so we harvested maybe 1/4 of the carrots we planted so far. So there's gonna be 4 times this much. We've already harvested a couple this year. This white one I'm really excited about. The figs are now monster trees, but I haven't seen any fruit on them lately. Every time I think I see fruits coming, I think like squirrels or birds pick them off, but they are huge trees now. The lettuce is about done for the year. It has flowered. A lot of this lettuce is like 3-4 feet tall. I'm still eating some of it, but it's kind of past its prime. It's a little bitter. The wind's kicking up now. So this was parsnips. I planted these seeds in like November, December. They didn't germinate till, I don't know, they took forever. They germinated in like February, and then they grew really, really, really slowly. This bed was peppers and basil last year. I already see some volunteer basils coming up. See, I didn't know what to plant in here because I said it was peppers last summer. So this winter I decided to do parsnips. There's some onions in here, and there's some bush beans I just planted seeds for that are coming up. Olive tree's doing alright. Oh, there's some monster kale in the compost pile. We should look at this Merlot lettuce here first though. So this is a bed of just Merlot. It was in deep shade. It grew really, really slowly. I think I planted this in around Thanksgiving, I want to say. And those look fantastic. That would make a nice photo there, wouldn't it? That would make a real nice photo. But I do want to show you all the monster kale over here in the compost pile. That's some big kale, and then my grapes back there. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Thank y'all for tuning in.